Good evening, everyone. This is your evening news recap, your night in the news podcast on all the news that I come across throughout the day, giving you my take as somebody who aspires to be a politician in the near future. Hopefully, all you guys are doing wonderful. Hopefully, all you guys are doing well. Today is October 9th, and it is Thursday. Before we start the video, I would just like to say that there will not be a recap tomorrow night. I have some plans, so there will not be an episode. But there should be one on Saturday for sure. I'm like 99.9% sure. Outside of that, though, hopefully all you guys are doing wonderful. It's been a pretty interesting day in the news world. Got a lot going on, definitely. But outside of that, hopefully all you guys are doing well. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. All the support would be greatly appreciated as we try to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year. We are so close to 400 subscribers. Last time I checked, we were at 393. So without a doubt, we will hit 500 by the end of the year. So let's get it done. Maybe we can get it done before October. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. All the support is greatly appreciated, genuinely. And if you're on Substack, please also consider subscribing. All funds go to me. They help me pay for the things that I need to pay for in college, like food, like clothing, like all of that. But if not, you can always subscribe for free. I truly do appreciate all forms of support on this content. And with that being said, let's get into the news from today. My face is like really itchy right now. I don't know why. Probably because my hair is all over it. Okay, moving on into the Trump administration segment. The first topic we have today is Trump has announced the first phase of the Israeli-Palestinian ceasefire has started. In a post on True Social, Trump has announced that the Israel and Palestine English. Trump has announced that Israel and Palestine have agreed to the first phase of a ceasefire. In his post, he wrote, "I'm proud to announce that Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of our peace plan. This means that all of the hostages will be released very soon, and that Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed upon line as the first steps towards a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. All parties will be treated fairly. This is a great day for the Arab and Muslim world, Israel, all surrounding nations, and the United States of America. We thank all the mediators from Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey who worked with us to make this historic and unprecedented event happen. Blessed are the peacemakers." So I think we would all love to see a ceasefire be agreed upon so people can stop dying. Unfortunately, Israel has already broken that, but that's not shocking. The real question is when it comes down to getting a ceasefire done is Israel going to follow it, which they already have not, and does it prevent Israel from oppressing the Palestinians like they are continuously trying to do? They are actively committing a genocide. So, will they have to pay reparations? Because they absolutely should. I mean, these are all normal things that should happen when a conflict ends. But in all honesty, I don't think it will. Unfortunately, with the amount of influence that Israel has, especially when it comes to the American government, I just don't think we're going to get a deal that favors Palestine. Not to mention, Israel has already broken the ceasefire that was announced. But is that shocking to anyone? Absolutely not. Free Palestine. Yeah. In other news, Trump posted his private DMs with Pam Bondi. About a month ago, Trump posted on True Social directing Pam Bondi to prosecute political opponents, including James Comey. Now, according to the Wall Street Journal, we have confirmation that this message was supposed to be private. According to White House officials, Trump meant to send the message privately to Pam Bondi and thought he did. He was even surprised when he found out that he put it on True Social. According to officials, this made Bondi very upset, which is why he later posted a post praising her. Give it up for Dementia Dawn, everybody. Truly, round of applause for him. I don't know how you mix up posting on social media and sending a text message, but hey, I think we all know that Trump is not the smartest person in the world. I've never posted on True Social. I unfortunately have an account for research when I have to quote the president. But you can tell very easily that that is not a place where text messages are supposed to be sent. It really does look very similar to Twitter, at least the old Twitter. So the fact that he thought that he was sending a text message is kind of crazy. It really just shows that Trump, just like Joe Biden, is not all there in the head, which is why we should have age limits in politics, especially when it comes to the people who are supposed to be president and who are supposed to protect the people and run the country. Um, but unfortunately, that's just not the case, and it's a massive problem. It really is. Um, you know, I mean, let's be real. No one who is damn near 80 years old should be in politics. What is Trump, like 78 right now, around there? Like, no one who is that old should be in politics. What he should be doing is golfing, genuinely. Like, there's no reason why he should be being the president of the United States. In other news, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this is a headline from today, but RFK says there is a connection between early circumcision and autism. RFK Jr. has announced that giving Tylenol to infant boys after circumcision could be a leading cause in autism among males. Kennedy said, there are two studies that show children who are circumcised have a double rate of autism. It is highly likely because they are given Tylenol. you know, None of this is dispositive. All of it should be paid attention to. I did 5 takes of that TikTok earlier when I made the TikTok talking about that, and I could not get through that without laughing. It is genuinely hilarious to me that this is like a topic of the day, and this is things that like the Health and Human Services Secretary is saying. Genuinely, that is hilarious. And this has to be a joke because there is no absolute way. I genuinely died laughing when I read this headline because there is genuinely no chance this is the case. How is this man still the health secretary? I mean, health officials are even telling people not to listen to what he says. It is so obvious that he has not a clue in the world what he's saying if this is a topic of discussion for his like health department. Genuinely, what are we doing, dude? There is no way that that is even remotely the case. Tylenol doesn't even cause autism. Like autism was discovered before Tylenol even existed. Like there's no connection there. And the fact that he's saying there is a link between circumcision and autism is absolutely insane. And I can't even say that without laughing. Like, genuinely, that is crazy. Anyways, moving on into our other news segment today, Marjorie Taylor Greene is blaming the GOP for not ending the government shutdown. Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene is taking shots at GOP leadership after failing to stop the government shutdown. Greene said in an interview with CNN, I'm not putting the blame on the president. I'm actually putting the blame on the speaker and leader, Thune, in the Senate. This should not be happening. We control the House, we control the Senate, and we have the White House. I've been vocal saying that you can use the nuclear option in the Senate. This doesn't have to be a shutdown, but what we have to do is we have to work for the American people, and our country is so divided right now. One thing I never expected during this administration was the shift as a whole we've seen from Marjorie Taylor Greene. She has actively spoken against Republicans when it comes to Epstein, the genocide in Gaza, and now this, and a lot more things when it comes to the current administration, which is honestly huge and something I will give her props for. She also doesn't take APAC money, which is another big thing, something I will also give her props for. She's the only Georgia, political leader that doesn't take APAC money. So I mean, good for her, genuinely. Is she a great person? No, but at least she recognizes that politicians should work for the American people, which is unfortunately something most do not do in any way, shape, or form, especially when it comes to the Republican Party. I don't support her at all, but credit should be given where credit is due. And I believe that she does, in fact, deserve credit for being able to speak against her party and being one of those individuals throughout, this entire MAGA thing who has been able to shift and been able to, not directly oppose that, but speak against it and, get her points across, which is not something you see from people in the MAGA sphere. And although I would say that she's probably not really as much involved in the MAGA sphere as she was a few months ago. I think it's interesting, and it's nice to see some growth from politicians. That's for sure. In other news, Turning Point USA is going to host their own Super Bowl halftime show. Turning Point USA will be hosting its own halftime show for the Super Bowl in February. The organization is calling it the All American Halftime Show. The performers are yet to be announced, but the show promises to celebrate faith, family, and freedom. This comes as most of MAGA is upset about the NFL choosing Bad Bunny for the halftime performer because he speaks Spanish in his songs and not English. But is that shocking? Absolutely not. You know what? Sure. Good for them. Let them do their thing. I don't know what artist is going to perform at like some MAGA Super Bowl halftime show because, that would be like the death of a career. But I'm sure they'll probably get someone like Kid Rock or some country singer who is very open about supporting Trump. If it's such a big deal to you, you are not an NFL fan. I've said that time and time again, and I'm going to continue to say it because that's the truth. That if you are an NFL fan, whoever is like the halftime performer should not bother you. If you are an NFL fan, you are watching the Super Bowl to watch a football game, like most people. And that's just not the case for most of the people who are complaining. Let's be real. But whatever, I guess. Go Browns. I hope we beat the Steelers this weekend. We probably won't. Aaron Rodgers is doing very well. One of my favorite quarterbacks of all time is Aaron Rodgers, and that will probably be the only Steelers jersey I ever own ever if I, decide to make that purchase. I have his Packers one and I have his Jets one, so I have considered. But hey, you never know. In other news, Trump is going or is pushing to indict Lieta James. I still cannot figure out how to pronounce that. I am so sorry. New York Attorney General Lieta James has been indicted in Alexandria, Virginia, on 2 felony charges of bank fraud and false statements to a financial institution when she took out a mortgage in 2023 to buy a home. Her first court appearance is scheduled for October 24th in Norfolk, Virginia. This is because on the mortgage paperwork for a home she purchased, she said that it would be her second residency, but prosecutors claim that she did not use the house and instead she used it as a rental property. If she has broken the law, she should absolutely be prosecuted for it, just like anyone else who breaks the law. But in all honesty, it is insane that Trump is pushing to arrest his political opponents. I mean, we can say that much for sure. Not to mention the hypocrisy to go after people with possible fraud when he is the king of fraud himself. But hey, if this is something that she actually did, she should without a doubt be prosecuted. Nobody is above the law, especially the current administration or any politician in that regard. So if a politician breaks the law, they should be prosecuted for it. No shit. With that being said, though, thank you everyone for watching today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed. It has definitely been a very interesting day in the news world. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. All the support would be greatly appreciated. As mentioned, we're trying to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year. Without a doubt, we're going to get it done. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. All the support would be greatly appreciated. And if you're on Substack as well, please also consider subscribing. All funds go to me. They help me pay for the things that I need to pay for in college, like my groceries, like food, like all that. Food and groceries are the same thing, but whatever. All the support is greatly appreciated. I truly do appreciate that so many of you watch my episodes day after day. It means the world to me. Thank you all for watching today's episode, and I will see you all on